So hello everybody, welcome back. I hope that you like this video and that you find it helpful somehow. So anyway, today is going to be a test. Yes, I'm a teacher, so I am supposed to test you once in a while. However, the evaluation will be self-evaluation, as in you get to decide if your answers were kind of right or wrong, or maybe you should have done something different, or you're sticking to your point or whatever it is. And here we go. So, grab notes and paper and things like that, and grab a coffee or a tea and enjoy the process, because it is a process about learning and about thinking. Because the important part about watching these type of videos is that you understand yourself and you understand reality and logic and the emotions that are involved into the processes. Okay, so anyway, I'm walking right now in a new area. We have a church over there, and then we have an abandoned terrain over there, and we have a plaza. And of course this was maintained recently, but the trash services haven't come yet to pick up all of the trash. So anyway, here we go. So I want you to imagine that there is a pyramid or a vase of some sort, okay? And you have what we call the foundation. And then you have the actual structure. And then you have the building per se. And then you have the decorations and the utilities and everything else. Okay? So it goes in order. You're not supposed to build this pyramid or vase or whatever we are going to develop if you don't have a foundation, right? So having said that, what happens if you want to, for example, set up a sink in this place and there is no infrastructure for doing that? Then that will act only as a decoration, okay? This means a lot of things. This means that when you have this building without the foundation and without things going in order, everything that you have is either fake or it can crumble up at any second, okay? Now, since we are going to build a pyramid or an inverted pyramid later on, I will explain the difference. Then we have a rectangular base or a square base. That means that we have four sticks or four areas, right? Four sides of these things. If you were going to think that this is kind of like oh, I was just lost for a second because that thing has an echo. Oh, I never noticed before because I was always busy with yoga and other things. And anyway, if you were going to think that this pyramid is a community and the sides are about, whatever it is that a community or a civilization should have. The difference between a community and a civilization is that the community will go like a pyramid, and the civilization will go like an inverted pyramid. And I will explain a lot of things later. But basically, they both have the same foundations, and they both have the same things, and they both have the same structure. And so, but they are different. One is one the tip up, and one is the tip down. And so anyway, if you were going to set up four sides, what do you think are the four most important sides to have? That without those four things, you cannot build these things. And if you build it, it will be damaged, or it won't work, or it's going to be incomplete, or whatever it is that you want to call it. Meaning, you cannot have the pyramid because there are four sides, and these four sides are da 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 da. So please stop and write in the comment sections What do you think are the 4 pillars? By the way, there is a hidden secret. You can build a secret passage or something like that, because you can build actually 5. You can build more, but we're going to talk about 4 that there are non-negotiable. And in fact, only 3 are non-negotiable. The other one is optional. But since we're building a community, then the community must have that one. But yeah, 4. And so, ready? Okay. So, the answers are... Ta-da-ta-ta. The first one is, for a community or for anything like that, you need people. Because obviously, this one is non-negotiable. And at this point, if you relate the foundation, meaning you write it down, you're doing a drawing and you're writing it down. The first thing, people. Now, in the people, as in level 0, as in ground level, as in non-negotiable, there is nothing below this thing. It's always up. But if something goes up and this does not support it, then whatever it is up there, it will fall, because it's like you throwing something into the air, it will fall down. So it's something that if you break it, if you do anything to this thing, it will affect all the structure of everything. And for all I know, if you damage one of these 4 pillars or 4 foundations, then you're done. Because that building is going to collapse one way or another one. So the first one is population. And at this point, level 1 of this population, meaning, okay, you went from drawing to actually, putting it into place, like building it or making it. Then you need to study a lot of things, including but not limited to the demographics, the level of education, the level of abilities and tendencies for their working or not working, meaning the temperament, because you will have a lot of issues if you don't know what the temperament of these people is, or that means the society, culture, and things like this. This means kind of like, think about you being in Africa, but you throw in there people that are Japanese, or people, you're in Japan and you're throwing in there people that are Venezuelan. So no, that land is going to develop entirely different. That's because you have a temperament, you have a culture, you have a thing, you have religion, you have beliefs, you have structures, you have a lot of things that are involved into this type of thing, okay? The second one, after you have the population, then I know you're probably going to hate this one, but this one goes along with population, and it is leadership and government. And then you go kind of like, yeah, but I have a community in which there is no government whatsoever because, yeah, I'm sorry, but did you know that every single time that you have a hierarchy of thinking and a hierarchy of processes and a hierarchy of logic and a hierarchy of everything, then you have a government. Then you're thinking, no, even in a company, even if you are working for a private company, that is a very tiny version of government. So the second pillar is government. You cannot advance and you cannot do anything without the government. And if the government fails or not fails, it doesn't matter. If the government sucks, if the government is good, bad, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's a freaking foundational part. You cannot deal with a community and you cannot deal with anything if you don't have order and you don't have a government. Period. Reason being, well, try to imagine that you are in the middle of an island and you are thrown with 50 people in there. You will realize that if there is no order and if there is no hierarchy and if there is no one that says to everybody, hey, you gotta go and build a road, you gotta go and you have to cure us, you have to research the plants so that we can figure out how we're going to deal with, being injured and all of these things. You gotta go and hunt, you gotta go and do the farming, you gotta go and do this, and and there will be the side effect of all of the things that you can see, but there are things that you cannot see. that are the single most important ones, that are like in the government, somebody has to say, hey, you gotta go and actually build a sewer or build a toilet or build something like that. Oh, and you gotta clean them. And at this point, that is also one of the reasons why you want a government, and that is why not a lot of people will be willing to do these things, and even if they are, they're not going to say it out loud, and but it is to be done. And so a lot of men will help out in these situations. Some women will actually be willing to help out in these kind of processes, particularly cleaning and things like this, but that doesn't mean that they will be willing to do everything else. And so you gotta figure this one out, okay? Because if you don't have a government and you don't have, like I said, order and things like this, then you will have nothing. And so the second pillar is that one. I know the quality of the government, it doesn't matter. The point is, you will still need it. The third pillar, as you guessed it, is going to be nature. And then you go kind of like, what do you mean nature? Well, I mean nature, as in all of the raw materials and everything that you can count as nature. As in things that are not man-made and things that are meant for your survival, pure and simple. So what does that mean? It means if you are thrown into this island, but this island only has sand, then you are dead. And so you gotta know what type of plants there are, what type of wood they provide, what type of air is in there. Because if you don't know where the wind is coming, and you don't know where the storm might hit you, and you don't know anything about your environment, then I don't need to tell you that you're probably going to die. And so, in fact, if you were thrown into this island, the very first things that most people will be asking is, where the hell are we? As in, you need a location. You need to figure out your surroundings. That is going to be your priority over almost everything. The second question is going to be kind of like, how the hell did I get here? But even then, that one is going to be severely limited. So that one is understandably the single most important part. Now, if you destroy nature, or you don't work with nature, or you figure things out against nature, or you're trying to build things without taking into account nature, this one goes in order. I mean, you can throw the population in there, but if the population does not work with nature, then the population will go back to zero. Okay? It will basically die. So, first you're alive, then you go and create some sort of hierarchy or some sort of role, some sort of organization. Like, okay, first we now gotta build a shelter. We gotta look for this. We gotta do this. We gotta do that. For that, you need some sort of logic, some sort of pattern, some sort of hierarchy thing under the government. And after that, then everybody goes, oh, we can't build here because there is a river. So how are we going to cross? We need a bridge. We need this. We need that. And therefore, the first thing is understanding what your surroundings are. And that means studying nature. That means understanding whatever you can take from nature so that you can do everything else. Meaning, can we eat these plants? Yes or no? Can we use them as medicine? Yes or no? Can we use this as this or that? Can we build a shelter from this? Can we be this or that? Which brings me to the fourth pillar, or the fourth stick, or the fourth, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, like the line, the perimeter, the fourth one. And that this one is the one that makes the difference between the communities made out of humans and the communities and the herds and everything else that are made out of animals. Meaning, this one is optional. Because you can survive, if you were alone in an island, you can survive with your own government system, meaning your own hierarchy things, of order of priorities and things. You can survive by understanding your nature, your surroundings, and everything else. So basically, you can survive alone. However, if you're going to build a community, then this one, if you want to make a pack with animals and things like this one is not going to happen. But since we're human, like I said, then the fourth one is going to be technology. And then you are like, what do you mean technology? For technology, you mean computers? No. Actually, the concept of technology is you applying and applying several ideas, methods, and patterns to things so that nature can be manipulated and somehow turn into something new. Meaning, you are creating things that already exist in nature and you're turning them into something that exists in your head. It doesn't exist in nature, it exists in your head. However, it comes from the physical world somehow. Even the internet that you're thinking is from the air, is not from the air, it's actually from antennas, and it's actually from people understanding frequencies of sounds and frequencies of all kinds. And therefore, you gotta realize that it exists in nature, but it doesn't exist in the world of men if it doesn't have any kind of technology. So at this point, now that you have technology, you can have the development of transportation, the development of construction, the development of systems, the development of tools, the development of electricity, the development of everything. Technology can be as primitive as you building a lot of tools. Because you're not going to see a lot of animals thinking, okay, we need to build a lot of tools so that we can make this happen. We are going to put together all kinds of concepts like circles and wheels and all kinds of things like that, okay? Sorry about that, I had to interrupt because there was a lot of, there was a truck that is selling things and buying things. Yeah, that happens a lot in my country. There is a lot of people that will go into a truck and then they will say to people, hey, if you're going to throw this out, we're going to buy it. Yeah, kind of like that. So anyway, this brings us to the fifth pillar. The fifth pillar is completely optional. As in, you don't need this one for development. And then you're like, what do you mean? And this one is, don't kill me. Don't be pissed. Wait. If you thought about it, yes, you need some sort of trading system and some sort of financial system and some sort of money system. Yes, but this one did not exist in the early centuries. In fact, not even in the Bible it used to exist. This one, there was no banking and there was no money. Everything was done based upon what you already had within your community. There wasn't even trading between countries and things like this because there wasn't enough resources and enough infrastructure for doing this. One of the first times in which this was done was, if I'm not mistaken, it was because there were people that wanted to travel, and this was not easy. And these communities were nomads, and they were able to help the development of communities within communities. But for your own development, you don't need trading. This one is optional, meaning if you do this one, the advancement for you is like a combo thing. It's like a cheat code that allows you to build the pyramid. Let's say that it has 10 levels. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you go from 0 to 6 in 1 minute. Well, everybody else will probably be stuck at level 1 and then level 2 like 10 years or 40 years or 100 years, and they will still be stuck in level 1. You can even say this one. You can even argue this one because there is a lot of anthropological examples in the world in which there are entire communities that do not know the concept of money. They only know the concept about trading, but they do it within themselves. And so that one doesn't count. Because it doesn't count because you don't have companies. You don't have enterprises. It's you with your neighbor. That's it. There is not a person that we call company or something like this. To the point in which right now, a company is considered a person. a person, and that's why they have legal rights, and they have protection, and they have all kinds of things. And that is because companies, again, they do not exist. Legally, companies did not even exist up until last century. So they didn't even have rights, and they didn't have anything. It was like, okay, I have 1,000 chips, and I don't need 1,000 chips, so I'm going to sell them for potatoes. And so you can't sell it because there is nothing that you can buy. You can only trade it, and you can't trade it with another company or anything like that, because you can only go to your neighbor and say, hey, I don't want chips, can I have cows? And then the guy said, okay, but I'll trade you 1 cow for every 3 chips or every 2 chips or something like this. And then there is negotiation. That's it. There was nothing else, okay? And so this you cannot call, an economy, because there is no economy. Everybody depends upon their own abilities, and if something goes wrong, then there is no economy. If the ships die, then you don't have backups. You don't have a plan B. That's it, you're done, because now you will become a slave for somebody that has cows, because the sheep all died because they all got sick. And so now you only have cows because the cows did not get sick and they did not die. And yeah, so basically the economies worked like this, and they work like this in a lot of places. So, it's important that you understand this one, okay? And now, besides that, then, after you have all of those things, then what do you think? I'm going to put 12 things that are extremely important and non-negotiable. Again, non-negotiable, that they have to be there if you actually want progress. I mean, really progress. And at this point, several things are going to be needed. Number 1, your definition of progress. Because if progress means, okay, now you have a financial system, all you want is money, then your concept of money, as in the 5th pillar, is going to destroy all the other 4 pillars. Why? Well, because progress should have been done upon pillar number 1. But that is optional, because if you already know that pillar number 1 is okay, because you already built it or whatever, then you can go to pillar 2, pillar 3, pillar 4. So comment please about what you think progress within a community, and name 3 things that you can measure, and you can say, okay, that's it, we are cool, we are fine, we are perfect. 3 things that you can measure and you can call with progress. And sometimes people will put 5 or even 7 things that they can call with progress, or they cannot just say 1. Most people will go, progress is money, so only 1 thing matters, money. Yeah, like I said, you're going to destroy all of the other freaking pillars, and that is why you need diversity. But anyway, first step is defining progress, and second step is defining 12 things that you can put into these pillars to develop progress. And then after you have made up the 20 things or the 12 things, then you can build to level 1. You cannot go to level 1 if you haven't done progress in level 0. Because whatever progress you make, it will be done on air and it will fall down. If it falls down, you will still have it, because if you take that tree and you put it in the air, it will go down. And so you will still have the tree, but it will be a fake one, because this tree does not have a root, okay? However, if you build the seed on the ground, then you can have that, okay? So it's kind of like that. You cannot see whether that tree has a root or not, to the point in which if you don't take care of the root, that tree is actually going to die, and you don't even know why. And then the leaves are going to be brown one day, and then you are like, what happened? That tree was fine yesterday. Yeah, but the root died. or because no one took care of the root. So we're going to build the root. And if we're going to build a root, I want you to think about 12 things that are non-negotiable, like zero negotiation here. If you don't have these 12 things, which your politicians and they do not fix these 12 things, then you are doomed to fail and die and have repeat cycles, and for all I know, destroy your entire country or community or whatever you want to call it, because you are building on the air. You're supposed to build with a seed, and you're supposed to build on the ground. You're not supposed to be doing things the other way around. And you're not supposed to go 5, 10, 2, 3, 4, 0. No. It has to be in order. And if it's not in order, then you're also going to suck. And you're also going to suffer all of the consequences. So pick 12 or up to 20. But there are only 12 that are major, as in non-negotiable, and all the other ones are kind of like, non-negotiable, but to a point, they can be overcome. So anyway, thank you for staying tuned. I hope to see you in the comments. See you again soon. Next time, there will be the answer for the other half of the test.